Hey guys, Brian Deters back to talk with you today about the issue of absolutism. We've been on this series talking about what is it that is dividing our country? Who is profiting off of the fact that here we are always bickering and arguing and understand that there is this just feeling of separation that we're going through. And we need to stop it. So, I'm running for Congress in the 18th Congressional District of Illinois, as I'd mentioned in previous videos. And this is all about raising awareness. So today's video is about the idea of what's called absolutism, being absolute. So what does that mean? It means, well, here's some examples of absolutism. My religion is right and yours is wrong. All Muslims are terrorists and there's just no way around it, which these are obviously explosive ideas. The concern is that we are becoming more and more prone to thinking absolutely. And there's a reason for it. And the reason has to do with the second of the two kind of manipulative elite institutions that we were talking about in the last video, specifically media, and what has become known as media conglomerates. So, we're going to talk about that and its connection to absolutism here in this video. Okay, so let's get this stuff on the board here, and then we're going to talk about exactly how media, powerful media, is creating this atmosphere of absolutism. So, today's concept: absolutism influenced by media conglomerates. There we go. So, 50 companies controlled 90% of the media in about 1980. If you look at it today, that number has shrunk from 50 to 6. 6 major media conglomerates that are impacting virtually everything that we see on TV, that we click on the internet. That's something that's a very powerful thing to think about. What's their reason for wanting to create absolutism? The answer is they're about making money. Since we've seen a lot of deregulation from the FCC going back to the Reagan years in the 1980s, we see the fact that media can do a lot more things. Media can be influenced by a lot more people. And as a result, we see where we are now. We see people turning to stations, news stations that they seem to think fits their ideology. We all do that. That's a normal, natural thing. You lean a little bit to the right, you might go to Fox News. You lean a little bit to the left, you may go to MSNBC, maybe CNN. So there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But the problem is how the media is being presented to us. And that's something that we really need to think about. It's also going to fit with the next concept we're going to talk about, sensationalism. Okay, so let's talk about CNN versus Fox News, because a lot of people are doing that. And CNN obviously presents information in a particular way, as does Fox News. Particularly when you start to get into the shows later in the evening that have a certain bias to them, and they're appealing to a certain type of person. That's the audience. The reality of it is those people who are making money want to make sure that they're keeping that audience happy. So, absolutism comes to play here. Do an experiment when you get a chance. I like to have my sociology kids do this when we do our unit on media. Find an issue, a current issue from the week, and go and watch a clip from Fox News on that issue. Then go and watch one from CNN or MSNBC. So you have this kind of right slant, left slant. Sometimes it can get so distorted on either side that you're wondering, am I even watching something that's connected to the same issue? And that's when you have situations where people just get kind of locked in on one side or the other. It creates this world of kind of us versus them, black and white, and it shouldn't be that way. Things are much more complicated. So you take that idea and now you add it to social media, and you see we've got this big explosive mess. Because on social media it's even worse. It's even magnified. People get memes. People get information sent to them that's oftentimes connected to their ideology. So they hit like. They get more stuff that comes their way. And the next thing you know, they're definitely not being exposed, without even realizing it, to other ideas. This is pushing us farther apart from each other. And there's actually people that want to see that happen because they're profiting from it. Because they're knowing that people are going to go to see and hear their news on one side and somebody else on the other. So we need to be aware of that. It's a big issue. Absolutism hurts democracy. Absolutism takes away from what is very important for us, and has always been very important for us. We need compromise. We need to work things out together. We need to find, as we've talked about in this campaign time and time again, the commonalities: family, education, security. And we need to do it, and the media needs to play a big role in that. So, we've got to be aware. We've got to spread messages like this. Please share this. I hope to see you next time. We're going to talk about something very connected to absolutism. It's the idea of sensationalism. They go hand in hand, and they really are helping wedge this division between us that we just don't need. Hey, it's time to heal, guys. See you next time.